morning, everyone. In this video lecture, we're going to um, take on another assignment. Not an assignment, but actually I received another request or a query from a subscriber, and we need to create a program for multiplication table. Okay. Now, when you are trying to create a program for a multiplication table, it could be of any number, right? So for example, here I have table of 2, and similarly, if you want to create a table of 3 or 4 or any number for that matter, you can create it using this code or using this program, and I'll explain the logic. So first of all, it really depends how you want to what is your requirement. Okay, so because different people like to print tables differently. So for example, here I have, this is 2's table, and in the first column I have 2, right? And in the second column, obviously this is multiplication sign, and in the third column I have 1 to 10. So you may want to print table from 1 to 10, or you may want to print it from 1 to 20 or 30. That's your wish. And then we have equal to in the fourth column, and then this is the result, right? The final row, the final column. This is the result. So what you need to remember here is that it could be 2 into 1, it could be 1 into 2, or 2 into 2, 3 into 2, 4 into 2. So you can have all these 2's in the third column as well. So I'm going to tell you how, I'm going to show you how you can print a table of this sort. So first of all, if you look at this table, what do you see? There is one number which is always the same, and that's 2. So there has to be a number that's going to be same number. It's going to be same all the time. Okay, and then since I'm going to print the table from 1 to 10, I'm going to create a range from 1 to 11. If you remember, range is a function in Python. It's used to create a range of numbers. And if I'm creating a range from 1 to 11, this is sort of like 1 will be included and 11 will be excluded. So if I say 1 to 11, it's going to go from 1 to 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I provide 12 here, it will go from 1 to 11. Okay, so I'm going to provide 11 because if I write 10 here, it's not going to include 10, but I want 10 to be included, right? So I'm going to write 11 here. So basically the last number will be excluded. Okay, so we need one number is the same. So in this case it is 2, and then we also need a range from 1 to 11. And then obviously, since we want to create a program, see what is a program? It is a collection of instructions. And what is an instruction? Instruction is a command to the computer to perform something, right? So if I'm creating a program, it's not like I have to do everything. I'm just going to provide inputs, and I am expecting output from the computer or from the machine. So here I'm going to provide 2 inputs. I'm going to tell the range, and I'm also going to tell the number for which I want to create a multiplication table. And then I want the computer to find the output. Okay, so we have a number and we have a range. Now you may not want to find multiplication table for number 2, right? You may be interested in number 3 or 4 or 5, right? So that's why I'm going to take this number as a variable. You know what is a variable? You can change the value of a variable. Variable means whose value can vary. So I'm going to take this number as a variable a. Okay, and using this logic, let's create a program. So I'm going to use a, and I want user to tell me. I want user to tell which number it should be. So I'm going to write enter number. Okay, now, okay, so it says enter number. I'm going to enter 2. Okay, now I really want you to observe what happens here. Now I'm going to provide the logic. So logic would be, I'm going to use for loop for I in range, because I'm going to create range from 1 to 11. Okay, and I hope you know how we work with for loop. So value of I will change from 1 to 10, 1 to 10. Okay, and then I'm going to take another variable b, and because why am I taking b? Because a will be the same, right? And this result, these values are changing. Okay, and how are they changing? These values are changing based on the multiplication between a and this range, right? So again, we want another variable because we want some values to keep changing. And how are these values changing? They are changing based on a. So we are multiplying a in all the rows. We are multiplying a, one number, with changed range. Okay, and range, values of range are taken by I, because when I say for I in range 1 to 11, it means first I will be 1, then in the next loop I will be 2, and so on. Okay, so I, b equals to I. Every a will remain the same. Every time value of I changes means value of this range changes. It will change the value of b, right? So a is 2. In the first loop, value will be 1. In the second loop, value will be 2. And you see, 2 into 2, 4. So b will be 4. In the third, value 3. 3 into 2, 6. So b will be 6. Right? So here, b equals to I multiply a. You can write a into I as well. And then we want to print the value of b. And I want it to go to the next line so you can actually see the result. So there will be space, right? Now, when I print it, what is the output? So you see we have all the 2's here. Okay, and what does that mean? It means that a is 2, right? And value of I is changing. Yes, it is changing, but for the first iteration, when value of I is 1, we have 1 into 2, 2. So b is 2. For the second iteration, when I say value of 2, for the second iteration, a is again 2 and I is 2. So it is like 2 into 2. We were expecting 4, but value of b is double 2. And for the third iteration, when value of I is 3, we have triple 3. Now why is that? Let's print the value of a here. What is a? You see, what is a? A is not 2. It is not number 2. We have these quotations, right? This means this is a string. Type of a is class string. Okay. So I want you to notice this. By default, input function returns a string. Okay. And what is happening here is, when you multiply a string with a number, it will repeat itself. Okay. So if I is 2, string will be printed 2 times. String or character, because there is no concept of character in Python. So even like a character is taken as a string. So that's why I'm using the word string here. So when i's value is 3, it's going to be repeated 3 times. Okay. So this is how it works with strings, the multiplication operation. Okay. So I wanted you to see this also. Now, what do I need to change? I'm going to write the same message, enter the number, but the output, I want that the output should be changed or converted into an integer. Okay, so what did I do? I'm using int function here. Okay, inside int function we are using this input function. So whatever input you will provide, it will be converted into an integer. So now if I provide the number 2 and I check even the type of a, it's going to be int. Okay, and if I print a, it's going to be 2. You see there is no you don't see any quotations here, quotation mark, right? So this is integer. Now let's, for I in range 1 to 11, for I in range 1 to 11, we will have b equals to a into I. Okay, and what do we want? We want to print the value of b, and we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 till 20. So this is table of 2. Now what if I want it should have a format of this type? Well, you can actually change the format. So what I'm gonna do is, value of a is going to be the same. I'm going to copy this code and I'm going to make some changes here. So we had for I in range 1 to 11, b equals to a into I. It doesn't matter if I write I into a or a into I. So these are the statements that will be printed on the screen, right? So what do we want? We want first 2 and then 1, and then we also want multiplication. So 2 is this sort of value of a, right? So we want a, and this is the best thing about Python. So a, value of a, we want it to be taken from the runtime, right, from the user. Okay, so I'm using variable a, its value will be taken from whatever user is providing. So we have a, then comma. Now what do I want? I want multiplication. I want this sign to be printed on the screen. I want it on the screen, right? So what does that mean? If I don't provide these quotations here, if I write it like this, for example, the way I've written it like this, it means I'm actually performing multiplication. But here I don't want to perform multiplication. I'm already getting the result from here. I just want the sign to be printed on the screen after the value of a has been printed on the screen. So to print it on the screen as it is, I'll keep it in quotation marks, then comma, then what do I want? I want to start the range now. So value of I. So we'll have I here, comma, what do I want after that? Equal to, right? So we want the sign equal to, so it will be like this, comma, what do we want next? We want the value of b. Okay, so you can write b here, or you can just write a into I. Okay, because here I'm not using this star sign inside quotations, right? So this will actually perform the result. This will actually perform the multiplication using these two values. Okay, and then I'm again gonna use comma, and then okay, let's see. Okay, this is how you can print a table. Obviously, if you want to print the table of 3, when you provide this statement, you, instead of providing enter the number, instead of writing 2, you can write 3. Okay, and then you can use the same logic, and you can actually change the output, change the way output is printed on the screen. Like, you can just change it however you want to change. Okay, so I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video lecture. Till then, take care.